I would have put some clip of Denny Hamlin winning the 500, but I'm probably going to get copyrighted for it, so it's not worth the risk. But last year, 20 years after Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 after trying for so long, Austin Dillon wins it in the 3 car, and this year, about a month after the passing of J.D. Gibbs, son of Joe Gibbs, Denny Hamlin wins the Daytona 500. So a very emotional victory for that team. They also finished first, second, and third, Hamlin winning, Kyle Busch coming in second, and Eric Jones coming in the third position. So, obviously an emotional win for that team with the loss of J.D. Gibbs. J.D. Gibbs, I think he recruited Hamlin. That was his car number. And, they won tonight. So that was a big deal. Joe Gibbs talked about it post-race in his initial post-race interview, gave a long speech about that, basically, just describing what JD meant to the team and what it meant for them to win that in that car and to get the 1-2-3 finish. I'm sure his post-race presser that he'll probably go into more detail and talk about more stuff, probably get emotional about it. But obviously a big deal for that team and a great start to the year for Joe Gibbs Racing, obviously, not only winning the Daytona 500 but finishing first, second, and third. So, got some notes here on the race and what happened. There's a lot to cover. Let's talk about the wrecks. There was a wreck at about lap 150, I want to say, and they were coming off the track, getting onto pit road, and there was a wreck that triggered, and the guys going on the pit road couldn't do anything, and Stenhouse and Johnson got some damage from it. And other drivers obviously wrecked out of the race. There was a big wreck coming onto pit road. So that obviously sucked for them. Not much more on that. Late in the race, 10 laps to go. Paul Menard, who was talking a lot of trash about Jimmy Johnson, how he races at super speedways and how he triggers big wrecks, triggered a 22-car pileup. Way to back yourself up, Menard. I like Paul Menard, so I'm not taking any shots, but it's kind of true. He was talking a lot of trash and then did that. But Menard triggered that wreck, and that wreck, him, Blaney, D. Burrito, Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, Chris Buescher, Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Newman, and a lot of other cars that were involved in that. But yeah, big wreck, took out a lot of cars and a lot of good cars as well. We'll talk about that here in a minute. There was another red flag a couple minutes later. It was a Boyer, Byron, Elliott, McMurray. There was a wreck between them. Another wreck before that. Stenhouse, Elliott, Harvick, Bowman, Keselowski. Obviously, some of these guys, they got out of the wrecks. They were able to go, but then they get wrecked again, and they can't do anything. So some of these drivers who ended up wrecking, like Chase Elliott was out of the race, but he finished 17th. Austin Dillon wrecked out of the race and finished 16th. It's crazy. The whole thing was crazy because it was like 3 laps to go, and there's all these guys that are 8-9 laps down, and you can't really do anything about it. But what else can you say? I don't know if this is right, but when I was watching the end of the race on Fox, it only showed 12 cars on the lead lap, or that finished on the lead lap. I could be wrong. It was like 12 or 14, but that's not a lot of cars on the lead lap, obviously. I think in the Truck Series, it was only like 8 cars finished on the lead lap. So there's been a lot of carnage at Daytona this week and a lot of chaos. Lots of cars, lots of money being crashed into a wall. Yeah. As I said, Gibbs, 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to go through the finishing results and just the individual performances of this race. Denny Hamlin wins the 500, his second 500. He also won it in 2016. He led 30 laps tonight. Second place, Kyle Busch led 37 laps. I think he won a stage as well. Eric Jones finished third. Joey Logano fourth. He led 11 laps. Michael McDowell with the top 5 to start off the year. Good for him. That's good for that team. Ty Dillon finishing 6th. That's good for him. Kyle Larson 7th. Kyle Larson had some issues earlier. I think he spun out, wrecked earlier. But he obviously came back and overcame those issues. Ryan Preece, in his first full-time year as a Cup driver, finishes 8th in his first start. Good for him. Jimmy Johnson rallies back from that damage from that pit road crash to finish 9th. And Watermelon Boy Ross Chastain finishes 10th place. 11th, Alex Bowman. 12th, Brad Keselowski. 13th, Ricky Stenhouse. Who said that? He led 16 laps. Ryan Newman's 14th in his Roush Fenway debut. 15th, Parker Kligerman, good run for him. 16th, Austin Dillon. 17th, Chase Elliott. 18th, with that lovely car, Coy LaJoie, his own face. I'm sorry, that was a great car. That might be one of the best cars of all time. 19th, BJ McLeod. 20th, Clint Boyer. 21st, William Byron. He had a very strong car, very good day today. He led 44 laps. Last year, I think he only led like 57 laps or something. So, very strong start to the year, obviously. Winning the pole, leading a lot of laps, staying up front, and then obviously wrecking up front at the end. So, not the result they wanted, but a good start to the season for them, momentum-wise and speed-wise for them. Just wrong place, wrong time. 22nd, Jamie McMurray in his potential last start ever. Well, I don't know what else to say, but thank you, Jamie. Good job. Great career. 23rd, Brendan Gaughan. 24th, Landon Castle. 25th, Kurt Busch. He was involved in an early wreck with Bubba Wallace. 26th, Kevin Harvick. 27th, Tyler Reddick. 28th, this is a guy I want to talk about for a little bit. Matt DiBenedetto. He led 49 laps today. Now, they're like the charter of Joe Gibbs Racing. That's what Furniture Row was. So they get all their parts from Furniture Row, or Joe Gibbs now. And so they do that. And their first race, they go out and they lead the most laps in the 500. That's not bad. Obviously, it's a super speedway. Anything can happen. That's what people are going to say. But I'm very excited to see how they do outside. So next week at Atlanta, Las Vegas, Phoenix, all these upcoming races to see if they can keep up this momentum and run up front and hopefully not get in any trouble. Lead laps, get some stage points. That'd be a big deal if they were to make the playoffs as a first-year team in the Toyota and under Joe Gibbs. So I'm very excited to see where this team is going this year. 29th is Paul Menard. 30th, David Reagan. 31st, Ryan Blaney. He won Stage 2. 32nd is Eric Almirola. He was trying to get some redemption for last year. He just ended up like last year, wrecked. 33rd in his first start for Stewart-Haas Racing, Daniel Suarez. 34th in his first start for a full-time RCR, Daniel Hemrick. 35th in his first race for Joe Gibbs Racing, Martin Truex Jr. Not the finish he wanted. 36th was Matt Tifft. 37th, Chris Buescher. 38th, Bubba Wallace. 39th, Cody Ware. 40th, Casey Mears. Those are your finishing results for the day. I hope you enjoyed this video talking about the Daytona 500. We've been waiting for the season to start forever, and now here it is. Part 2 of the Real Racing Challenge thing is underway. It's currently been filmed. It just needs to be edited, and it will be uploaded part 2, and then we'll have a part 3 and part 4, hopefully. And then we'll finish it soon. I think I have 8 days to complete it, so got to get that done. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely night. Congratulations to Denny Hamlin and that team for winning the 500. Big night for that team. Big night for Joe Gibbs. Rest in peace, J.D. Gibbs.